Hello, Dale Husband, the Honorable Skeptic here. One of my basic principles as a skeptic is to never assert as fact anything that is merely a matter of opinion or speculation. But that is exactly what we so often see in religion. I'll give you a particular example, produced by the Watchtower, the leaders of the Jehovah's Witnesses. They reject evolution and believe in the literal meaning of the creation stories in the book of Genesis. Watch this.
Whoa, they're so beautiful! Do butterflies know they're beautiful?
No, they don't.
Then why did Jehovah make them so pretty?
For us. He loves us and wants us to have beauty all around. Now think of all the different butterflies you've seen.
Awesome!
So in essence, this mother is telling her little girl a pack of lies. Unless she is claiming to read the minds of butterflies and has been told directly by Jehovah that he designed them out of love for humans, of course. And telling lies in a loving manner doesn't make those lies any less harmful, especially when those lies can be debunked by reality. I mean, do you really think it credible that a loving God like Jehovah really designed all the animals and plants of the world? What about Asian giant hornets, also called murder hornets? If any insect was designed by Satan, they were. They are so deadly that a few dozen hornets can exterminate an entire colony of honeybees, insects we need to pollinate plants we rely on for food. They will even kill each other. Even worse, there are plenty of examples of design in life forms, including humans, that are far from intelligent. In the human female, a fertilized egg can implant into the fallopian tube, cervix or ovary rather than the uterus, causing an ectopic pregnancy. The existence of a cavity between the ovary and the fallopian tube could indicate a flawed design in the female reproductive system. Prior to modern surgery, ectopic pregnancy invariably caused the deaths of both mother and baby. Even in modern times, in almost all cases the pregnancy must be aborted to save the life of the mother. In the human female, the birth canal passes through the pelvis. So if the baby's head is significantly larger than the pelvic opening, the baby cannot be born naturally. Prior to the development of modern surgery, caesarean section, such a complication would lead to the death of the mother and the baby. Other birthing complications such as breech birth are worsened by this position of the birth canal. This wouldn't be a problem at all if the opening from the uterus was in the abdominal wall below the navel instead. In the human male, testes develop initially within the abdomen. Later during gestation, they migrate through the abdominal wall into the scrotum. This causes two weak points in the abdominal wall where hernias can later form. Prior to modern surgical techniques, complications from hernias, such as intestinal blockage and gangrene, usually resulted in death. This is a result of the testes needing a lower temperature than the rest of the body to produce sperm cells. The existence of the pharynx, a passage used for both ingestion and respiration, with a consequent drastic increase in the risk of choking. This wouldn't be an issue if the trachea was behind the esophagus instead of in front of it, and thus the pharynx didn't need to exist. Almost all animals and plants synthesize their own vitamin C, but humans cannot because the gene for this enzyme is defective. Lack of vitamin C results in scurvy and eventually death. The gene is also non-functional in other primates and in guinea pigs, but is functional in most other animals. The male urethra passes directly through the prostate, which can produce urinary difficulties if the prostate becomes swollen. The structure of vertebrate eyes is another example of bad design. The retina is inside out. The nerves and blood vessels lie on the surface of the retina instead of behind it, as is the case in many invertebrate species. This arrangement forces a number of complex adaptations and gives mammals a blind spot. Having the optic nerve connected to the side of the retina that does not receive the light, as is the case in cephalopods, would avoid these problems. Pandas do not have thumbs. So how do they manipulate bamboo as they eat it? With a modified wrist bone instead. Whales actually have vestigial pelvic and leg bones in their bodies, which serve no purpose, but are an indication that their ancestors lived on land as quadrupeds. Whales also breathe air, but live in the water, meaning they must swim to the surface frequently to breathe, unlike most fish. Most plants are green, a color that reflects most of the visible light that plants need for photosynthesis. They would be more efficient if they were black instead. Most animals lay eggs that later hatch, instead of bearing live young. These flawed designs occur because, contrary to popular belief, evolution is not driven by survival of the fittest. We really need to discard that phrase. Rather, evolution is a result of the reproduction of the fit enough. As long as enough members of a generation live long enough to produce offspring, the species is perpetuated, even if many individuals die in the process. There is simply no evidence for an intelligent designer, at all.